Hey there, Joy the World friends and family. I am Joy, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. What energy is that? So it is this Cancer Wolf full moon. Let's talk about the wolf. Wolf comes in as a wound. It can come in as something that like stalks you, haunts you. You feel like you can't get clear of it. Something lurking in the dark, leaning over your shoulder, just like checking to see on who you are. And there's so much destruction. Somebody said disrabblement. What the rabble? Okay, well, let's just leave it there and pull on up, because it's talking about wanting to be able to move on from the mouth work, from just running their mouth. Somebody's been running their mouth in your life. Some of you've run your mouth too much, and they're going, time to put a halt to that. Some of that air energy that flies on through, and being able to bring it into fruition, that empowerment, that type of a thing going on. So we're moving from disempowerment to empowerment. We're just gonna agree with that and clear that right now. So first I want to get our focus card, and then maybe go ahead and get our animal card. No, we'll get our focus card, and then we'll chat about the couple of things that they had, well, you had been jot down. You're like, take a peek. We need to know a little bit of backstory, Joy. And I'm like, woo, 5 of Cups was coming up under there. And it was like, all out of love, so lost without you. Looks like we're sticking with this one. What is going on now? There's some background stuff about I am now creating my life exactly as I want it. I love that, because that is power. Anytime I see a horse, it has to do with personal power, not disempowerment of anyone else. Because being in our truth of who we are and our golden self is empowerment. What is good for us is good for all. Because if we're true to ourselves, this was all pre-planned and navigated. Man, there's room for everybody here, y'all. Not just the ins and outs of the fullness occurring. No, we have that freedom. We have that creativity and that nuance to come about as we go. It's not all pre-written. But let's see what we got here that is written. I define my worth and I am worthy. Now, some of you may want to go do the heart chakra cleansing video that I just posted, because behind it was just really a lot of it having to do with worth and worthiness. But the important focus of what I see here is the I amness, the being able to own it, not having to consciously perpetuate it, because being takes conscious effort. And it's when we're in the center of ourself, we're not in the consciousness anymore. We're not in the subconscious. We're in the center of the self. We're in the fullness of ourselves. Just kind of like the moon is not just full, the moon is whole. So we're bringing you to wholeness. So let's get an animal support on that. I am kind of chatting about some of what's here along the way, y'all. So talking about being ready to kick it into high gear. Ooh, got some displacement going on. So there was some chatting about competition going on back here. But what we're doing is getting people out of your lane, out of your space, clearing that right now, just even with the consciousness of it. Because this other incoming energy, these things that lording over you, the things in it by this time in life, because if you hear you're over 18, disclaimer, but you've begun to be those eyes on yourself is what they're talking about. So let's clear your eyes as well. Consciously, we're clearing the eyes. That can do with, we think we have to be super something to be psychic or clairaudient or clairsentient or claircognizant. Just means our senses, y'all. Really being able to be sensible about who you are and connected to your senses, thus pleasure, which is very much this Taurus energy that we're stepping into for the next 18 months. There's this thing called the nodes, which has to do with the moon's placement and how it moves about, and it's moving through Taurus and Scorpio. So we're dealing with some power struggles going on there, and that's what this elephant is stepping in for with Archangels Mary and Raphael. Okay, that's some pure, perfect, divine partnership. Open yourself to true abundance. Look at that. So that heart chakra clearing that we didn't just get things out of the way. We moved it into place. The being able to connect to your childlike innocence, to the fullness of yourself, of your nature, not your normal. Normal is we landed somewhere and we were like, we need to learn a little bit in some life university. And so we went through some things, but that's not what we're supposed to continue in. We're supposed to take the tools, the learning, the understanding that we gained, not just of those things, but the experience of ourself, of who we are, of our preferences, because life is about who we are and what we're here for. That means what we enjoy, what we like, our preferences, our proclivities, our personality, that type of thing, not the adapting and adjusting in this environment or that environment. Whole selfedness, thus the I am. I define my worth and I am worthy. The I define my worth is knowing who you are and defining what is worthy of your time, your energy, your investment, your output, that type of thing, is having to do with that. So let's take where we want to start. Oh, let me do a backup here real quick. So let's see. Some of you have been feeling like you've been dragging since New Year's, which is interesting because that's where the new moon was, but it's often interesting to start the new year with a new moon. It's like, I have no idea what I want. I have no idea what I want. But now you're here at the full moon and you realize there's like a little kick in the pants or wanting to kick in the high gear. Like it said, just get rid of the flapping of the gums and get into the good stuff. Get into it. Get that traction, that momentum going in, being able to put down the roots and connect with the tail, which is also a Taurus of a different kind, Taurus. It is this thing is able to move and connect within oneself. It becomes dynamic. All right. I like that, focusing on your dynamism. And that's a beautiful displacement of that Five of Cups energy that was coming in, because it was being expressed as too open, someone having quit caring, others feeling old and tired and worn out. And it's saying, hey, forgive yourself for those things, those loves long lost and past. And these could be personal things, like I said, your proclivities, like your preferences, those type of things. They're saying make room, open it up, let yourself back in. Come into your own good graces. And the thing is, the way you've been talking to yourself, I could see why it might be hard. Now, hard is not it. Hard is simply a changing of the mind. Thank goodness the light switch on the wall is hard, because we can click it on and click it off. They're just saying make that click, make that switch, make that choice and that change to what? Forgive yourself. Stop grinding on you for it. Forgive. Like that, the blood from a turnip, or demanding things. That isn't it. This is you getting in that connection with yourself, that conversation with yourself, that communion with yourself, getting on board with yourself to your natural self. You don't have to demand or coerce or manipulate or anything from yourself to yourself. So let's just institute that divine connection with oneself, where we're happy and pleased as punch with who we are. We're not sitting there constantly coming up with things that we need to do or fix or work on. We're just like, and just like we eat, we sleep, we drink, we travel, we move, getting into the fullness and the richness of who we are. Some King of Cups, being able to feel it, right? That's the senses that we were talking about, not just these perceptions, but the full spectrum of it, the full connection to oneself. We're talking like vagal nerve. King of Swords. This is just a little prelude here, y'all. Justice, Three of Cups, and Five of Cups. Okay. That's some underlying stuff Gonk we got going on there. Because this was kind of like, I got to make up a word, confrontious. He's like, kind of like I'm seeing some Donkey Kong, where it's just beating up and wearing on your mind. And like, can you imagine having noisy neighbors if you're a quiet person? Or having, things that are on lockdown and locked up tight if you're a very expressive person. So we're going to bring that energy back into balance so that you have the fullness of yourself, not just like a little piece of the keyboard to play piano on going, well, because that limits your song, that limits your expression. Okay, so we're opening up the wings of expression. Oh, I love it, because that's what this Justice card is. Opening up the wings of your expression, the fullness of yourself. And for many of you right now, we resonate into that black moon Lilith. We like, it ain't the black or whatever, we're bringing it into the fullness of itself, out of the shadow, right, where it can fully be seen, but yet it's still its own beautiful black Lilith self. Black moon Lilith is being able to celebrate and let that fire and the passion of who you are, let that old Scorpio mindset, and that doesn't mean Scorpio mindset is bad, from 9 years ago, where you were 9 years ago, of leaving yourself out, lackluster, lost, that type of thing. and being able to step into this triumph, this victory. I see a lot of Six of Wands going on here, a lot of awakening. Aha. And so I'm turn back time and turning, yeah, shares roaring in my head, and also turning back the hands of time. So not just in the mind and the heart, but also in the landscape of the face, of the body, of some issues, and maybe like some just wearing and tearing on the physical frame, just like needing a tune up. So boom, tune up, come into what the Three of Cups. So I love that the Three of Cups is coming here to just kind of push out that Five of Cups, that pining, that longing of thinking, this is my song, my sad song. It never works out for me. Maybe for others, not for myself, that type of thing. We are welcoming you into love. And especially here at Joy of the World, this community of love. Because that is what this is about. Your joy, my joy, all of it coming in for who you are. Because love is the universal. It's the energy that comes in. And then joy is the expression of it in your own personal life. And not just that, but that you find birds of a feather, in this case, butterflies. And we get hummingbird energy coming in for the next year, y'all. This rising up, this just exponential growth that just occurs. It's like popcorn. You know, you're heating well, if you do it the old fashioned way, you heat and you shake in the pan, or you're standing by the microwave, and it's like, pop, pop, pop. But then all of a sudden it hits that breaking point, that tipping point. They're talking about the radiance point, the glory point, where it just, like the noonday. I'm so excited for us, y'all. Okay, so let's see. Now, many of you had to go through quite a bit to get to what you want. And I found that interesting because what really mattered to you and who you are as a person, you chose to keep valuing. But you felt like you had to tuck yourself away here and hide yourself there, almost so much that you almost hid yourself from yourself. So a loss of identity. These are sitting here. We're going to take another peek. You're telling a story, friend, and not a lie. There's a story. There's clues in it. And they're talking about your reason. Always trying to be reasonable. Son, you outrageous. Be yourself. Okay, so they're talking about status quo and standards, thus norm, natural versus normal. So being your natural self without having to make the adjustment or decide what is too much or too little, or if you're too loud or too you're already, your eyes are out everywhere trying to feel the energy and the environment around you. And if that's you, you might want to pause this right now and go get that heart chakra clearing if you haven't already. You can use that as much as you want, because we also open up other channels to fully connect the divinity into who you are. Oh, I love that. Six of Swords, setting you free. We're like rising up above it. Spirit is coming to help you. You don't have to do this alone anymore, friend. And that what I love about that Five of Cups moving out of the way, it's more than just like, it's interpersonal love. It is familial love. It is friendly love. It is passion love. And that's not the sex. That is our sexuality. That is our pilot light on our hot water heater, the thing that gets our blood pumping and gets us excited about what we see and what we're experiencing, the fulfillment and satisfaction. And then from there, we come into the passion lover love. If that is something you seek, it doesn't have to be outside of you. Meaning you might already be in a relationship and you're thinking, yeah, I don't know how this is. Or maybe you've been married for a long time and you were high school sweethearts and y'all have grown comfortable in that love. But you're like, where is this, like that like explosion, this radiance, this magnetism, this effervescing coming from? That's what she's going. Psh, psh, psh. It's like it's like popping the waters. There's almost like this ceiling of prayers that you've had, but you haven't let it rain in ages. There's been a lot of dryness, some desert of thinking that things didn't turn out. Well, of course, keeping the cups empty, that dry, that desert. Well, in the desert, things don't flourish and bloom except for but a moment. But how about we just create that opening where it can do what is natural, right? I live near the beach, and so the unique thing is you can see huge, amazing cloud cover come in, and it could look like a storm is going to come about. But sometimes just that cloud coming in over the waters, there are multiple bodies of water around here where I live, but comes in over these massive bodies of water, and they just breathe and feel each other, and that mist, that effervescing awe, very Neptunian. Very much rulership of the heart type energy coming on in. Stops you cold in your tracks. I would say where it stops you is right on time, because what I see is the star. Look at that. Right on time. Look at this. At the cliff. Just before you fall off, because they're saying take yourself into full consideration. Full consideration of where you flourish and what that is for you. They're saying you're transient, and that doesn't mean just kind of here and there and just meandering about. It's being able to move. That's why we're talking about liberation over freedom very much at this channel, because freedom is just like a jellyfish, that going all around. Now, I know some jellyfishes navigate, y'all. I ain't ignorant, but we're just talking in some generalities here. But being able to bring in the specificity of who you are and being able to move about in the liberty of that. Not having to leave any of you behind. Any part of you, you're aiming your whole self, your whole divine, beautiful self. Pure and perfect, the way you came in. Look at your naked self. Your naked self. That is right. Life is smiling on you. Inside, smile on yourself. Love on yourself. Dote on yourself. Compliment yourself. You can do it right now in the comments down below. I'll be like, woo, woo, feeling yourself. You beautiful and fine like wine. And I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. So let's move on with these True Heart Tarots. Let's get something with a star. I see it growing. So some of you have been choked out by other things. Concerned that this thing is going to overtake you. No. This actually begins to, woo, you put the brakes on that. It begins to bring your ships in. We're talking like 3 of Wands type energy. Lots of 3 energy going on here. Creativity, movement, moving about. And I love that, because that's what you were specifying in the pre-read, the little prelude of what I was taking a peek at. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so that thing where you would hide yourself from yourself, they're talking about some are lonely in love because people have been jealous of you, envious of you, and your nature, your natural self, because that goes into this. That's interesting. Your natural self. So feeling like putting on the clothes has to do with chameleon type energy of altering what people see. And we're not talking about the clothes that we wear. We're talking about these cloaking mechanisms, these energies going on that like if this is your energy, celebrate, show up as you. If I'm showing up to spend time with you, I want you to be you. I enjoy that. That is what I mean about this like-minded energy that's coming in. It's people that share that same vibration of celebration, of expansion, of room for everybody to be celebrated, to be who they are, to be the full of what they are, and not mean that it's homogenous or has to look a certain way, is what they're talking about. Oh, so there you are. Hi, again, what are we talking about? Because you were powerful, confident, and free. I like that. I like who you are. Express yourself. So that brings in your strength. You aren't alone. You got a lot purring down there, man or woman, whoever is here. And it is something that is very seductive. And that's touching on that Scorpio energy again. That's what this Cancer moon is unearthing. The wolf moon, the wound, is that there should be no shame here. No more sizzling, burning, and shame. And that, I mean, like, you know what? Don't put stuff on a fire unless you want it to burn up. You know what I mean? If you put papers on it, that thing is going to blow, is going to grow. So they're saying don't let those things weigh on your mind, because that paper is talking about words. It's talking about accusations. It's talking about name calling, that things that like the scarlet letter was been decided, written about you. We're clearing that out. The things you've had to hear in your life, the stuff you've had to endure, the price you've had to pay. And many of you, it wasn't just an outpaying price. It was a stifling of the incoming. And you have been financially poor for a long time. You may have even been through, they're saying rehab. And some of you may have had to be on financial assistance of some form for a while, whether from family support, whether government support, it doesn't matter. We're going to move that on out of here. We're moving that barrenness on out of here. You don't have to be burnt up. You fine. Be yourself. Be your beautiful self, because that's the sexual energy that we have, is our selfness, our amness. It is our pilot light, is our warmth. It's like the glow of this candle. That's your natural self. That's exactly how it's meant to be. So this is what's going on in this Cancer moon. Let's see what was sitting over here to guide in with the affirmatives. So we affirmatives, what we talk about with that justice, the victory, the Hanged Man, and the King of Cups. Some of you have been stuck in love for a long time. Some of you have been stuck on love. Love and wanting just little facets of it, little nibbles of it. And that's fine if you go up in the grocery and you buy you a slice of cake or make you a slice of cake and you just want to eat all the frosting. They're saying delve on into who you are. But they're talking about this being in the fullness of who you are. You can't decide the limits of love. Love is love. It abounds. It never fails. It is limitless. That's what they're talking about. They're going, you don't need 2 cups, King of Cups. That's that old tethering, and it will always end in death. This is what they're saying here, because there isn't that true, genuine support coming on in, and it ends up tripping, failing, falling, flailing. Wow. Can be some deep grief and sorrow, which really is clogging throat chakra, almost to the instance of what a grandparent could do, like losing a humble loved one who saw you purely and perfectly as who you were. That's what had you thrown off center for a bit, because you wonder, does it really exist? Is that what it's really like? But imagine, take these facets of the loves that you have experienced, and I mean all the different facets, y'all. Maybe a best friend growing up, or maybe a family member who especially appreciated you or got you on a certain level. That's what they're wanting you to hold on to, and to be able to let go of the rest. Be able to give it up, to offer it up, because right now your heart is not available to love. Okay. But what I love here is I see the releasing of it, and they're going, in the mind, ethereally, propositionally to oneself, you've let it go. You can see it. It is separated from the hand, but it's still in the imagination. It's still in one of the layers of the body. So we're just going to clear that on out consciously. It's in the consciousness, being able to release that and let it go, and trust that love will come find you. You fruitful, you divine, you shine. And they're like, there isn't a price you have to pay anymore. Okay? To be lucky in love, to be worthy of love. They're like, turn your frown upside down and shine. I love that. I love that. So let's see. We've got one more deck over here, because I knew which ones wanted to talk before we began. Somebody's a little unsettled and uneasy. What is going on? I know there's a whole big story, but there seems to be, we're boiling it down to that point. They're saying help is on your side and health is on your side. So we've apparently worked and moved through a lot of the womb, because it's not what my words are saying here. It is what your soul is tuning into, because this channel is driven in such that you connect from yourself to yourself, your pure divine nature, and the signs, symbols, and all the things you've been seeing to bring you into the full connection, nothing separating, pure, perfect love. So there's this help coming on in. We're also going to tether you through your 4 angles. Pretty soon there'll be a video on that on the channel, but it's talking about your ascending, your descending, your midheaven, and your nadir, your midnight. But there's all these energies coming in, these components of coming together, and they're talking about like a windmill, but I really see a pinwheel. Something like, it could seem frivolous, but or trite or tiny, and maybe not have meaning to others, but holds so much meaning for you. They're talking about celebrate it. Give that gift unto yourself, even if it's a little dollar pinwheel, even if it's those things, whatever. Okay, so there are many things when you set up altars and things like that. It can be a variety of stuff like here, because Chiron's with us all year, well, way more than just this year. But I have a key sitting over here that goes to an armoire that I have. I have little doves from inside of a sand dollar from out at the beach. I have different little crystals. Some of the cards I keep because I work through different energies, little feathers that I find. They're saying what has meaning to you is what is valuable. For some of you, they're like, your purpose is enveloped in your meaning. And they're wanting you to go on this journey of self-discovery, of trying new things, of experiencing new things or new ways. Okay? Someone, they're saying, of coping. But that word is problematic in that it means putting up with something, dealing with something, staying in a vibratory state where there's dissonance going on. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. All right. So this is having to do with lap of luxury is what they're talking about. They're saying there's no threat here. And no one should be threatened by you. There's no threat. So that risk could seem daunting, but really it's no big deal. It's a little wish, it's a little dream. Let that carry you. Let that lift you up. Let that inspire you. Let your heart be vibrant and fully alive. Again, you could go to that heart chakra clearing that we had over there. So this seems to be where they're bringing it all into the hub, into the wheel, into the full leaf clover. Yes, we just tuned some people's Jupiter too. You could check out your chart like I like astro-charts.com because it's a very simple wheel or a circle. It looks kind of like an eyeball, and you can see which zodiac sign your Jupiter is in. And you might go check out one of those videos at the channel. Any of them, they're all timeless, even the ones that are dated. But follow your heart, follow your bliss, follow yourself to the one that starts to resonate with you and feels like a little buzz, a little thump, that type of energy going on. And you can get some transformational energy going on with your Jupiter. There might be more than one, there might be a few, okay? And just follow the trail from there. It's like a scavenger hunt. And the good news is about a scavenger hunt, often at the end, there's just like some fun little prize and a reunion, but really it's the joy of finding these things and working them out together as you go along the way. And this together can be with others, but especially from yourself to yourself, getting in a new relationship with yourself. They're talking about a right relationship with yourself, meaning one that is based on love and respect and honoring. No more that rude talking to yourself, or I mean, they were very specific. Stop grinding on yourself for it, for having been too open, for the fact that you quit caring and feeling worn out and tired about these things. Begin to be inspired. Begin to be inspired by life again. That's my hope for you. If you're still here, that means you like something. Click that little like button, punch it, tickle it, turn it, I don't know, whatever, but make it turn on for me. Also, you could click that subscribe button if you're still here. You might like something. All right, you can stop back by, check out all the other works here at the, they say video station, whatever, I don't know. But just know that I love you, okay? We'll talk again real soon. Bye.